is putting a really sharp pencil or point on this pencil, and you want to start with your 6B because you want to lay down the softer, darker graphite first, and then you're going to proceed to go to your 2B, and that's a little harder, and it moves the soft graphite around and flattens it on the tops of the teeth of the paper. And we talked about the paper before and how it has teeth. You don't want to bear down, with a lot of pressure, because if you do bear down with a lot of pressure, you're going to break the teeth, and that's not a good thing, and for a number of reasons. Okay, you are going to do a small segment, and then you're going to drop down and go over that segment, and then you're going to extend it just a little bit at a time with the 2B once you've laid the 6B down. The last thing you're going to think about is about 1/3 of the way up, you stop using the 6B except for some tiny little bits, and you just continue using the 2B. So you see this tiny point that I have on the 2B. I'm going to make that a longer point. And it's a little bit longer. It's not as long as the 6B. 6B is softer and it's longer. You lay it down as flat as you can, and you start with small circles going across. Now, it may look somewhat like I'm going across and just doing this, but I'm not. I'm going in small circles. If you don't go in small circles, you'll tend to get these stripes across your page. Now, at some points, you can tilt up a little bit and get a little bit more pressure. So I've gone down here, and I'm going to go over that right at the base with a little bit more pressure to get it really black. And then I'm going to come up, and I'm going to lessen the pressure as I go up. I'm going to lessen and lessen and lessen. Now, you cannot get very light with this 6B. So at a certain point, you're going to find that, well, now it's not going to get much lighter than this. So at that point, you go, okay, this is all the same gray, so I'm going to go down here again and start to pick this up and pull this up a little bit. This is the way you have to go about this thing, is you basically have to go back and forth a lot, and you don't just go up this way, okay? So I'm going to pull this up just a little bit, and I'm going to get a little bit more here, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to smooth that with my 2B. And notice it gets it a little bit darker as well. That's because the 2B is forcing that soft lead down a little bit in those teeth. It's not breaking the teeth because I'm not putting a lot of pressure on it, but what it's doing is it's forcing the lead down into those teeth. Okay? And that's why it's smoothing things out, and that's why you're getting a little bit less grain. And the grain is the little white flecks that you see in the paper. Now I'm going to turn this thing, and one of the things that happens when I turn it is it's coating the paper in a different direction. So I'm going to turn it again, and if you keep turning it, you'll get the paper coated in a lot of different directions. But I keep in mind while I'm turning it, as I go up, I'm lessening the pressure. So you have to keep several things in mind. And I'm making sure that I melt this edge along here. I don't have a black edge that doesn't get melted. Oh, great. That doesn't get melted. That was good filmsmanship. Here comes another one. Yeah. All right. So now I'm going to extend this up just a little bit. Sorry. And then I'm going to go get some coldies for my wife. So I'm going to extend this up just a little bit, and then we're going to sneeze some more. All right, then I'm going to go back to my 6B. I'm going to switch back. Now this is the part where I told you you're going to go back and forth a lot. So I'm going to go back down here and tilt this 6B just a little bit more, so it's not exactly flat, and I'm going to come up and I'm going to extend this a little bit. Now, this is where a lot of people go all the way through this and they get it all the same gray. You don't want to do that. You want to come through this, and you want to lessen the pressure as you go up. And notice that it's getting really smooth now because we're layering the pencils. I'm going to go back to the 2B, and I'm going to go up through it and layer that again. So the more you layer it and the more you turn this, the better the distribution of the lead. But you got to keep thinking, I am going just a little bit at a time, and I'm going to extend this just a little bit at a time. At this point right here, I'm going to try to get the 2B to get really, really light. So I'm almost like doing a shortened version of what we're going to end up with. So it's going to fade out to white. And to get it to go really light, you're going to find if you hold your pencil a little bit looser than tight, it'll fade better because you're just using the weight of the pencil and you're doing those little circles. And now I'm going to go back down here, and I am going to bring this up just a little bit. And I'm going to go back with the 6B and bring this part up just a little, taking care that I make sure that I don't get too dark.
What are you going to do about that little spot right there?
I'm going to tell him in a minute. My wife doesn't think I know what I'm doing, but I know that I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, oh my gosh. All right. Anyway, so here I go up.
And that's how you
further.
hold the pencil loosely?
That's where I hold the pencil loosely, and then I snuffle my nose.
So how do you hold it the other way? What do you mean by
loose? I grip it tighter. I have a tighter grip on it. If I hold the pencil loosely like this, I can't really control it. But if I just barely touch it, I can still control it, but the weight of the pencil is like bloop, bloop, bloop,
now
bloop.
How would you hold it tightly?
Like this. See, if I bang it like this, then I can't go anywhere. But if I, if I'm holding it loosely, I can go bloop, 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 bloop. And you have to make that noise, too. You got to go bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, no, look what I did. I made a boo-boo. All right. So, notice that I haven't gone all the way up. A lot of kids think, okay, you start with a 6B, you go up to about here, and then you take the 2B and you do the rest of the thing, and then they get too dark all the way up, and it gets to be a mess. Okay? Now, let's say you're going up like this, and you're not perfect like Mr. Jones because you're not 60... what am I? 63?
You're 26.
Oh, yeah, I'm 26. So you don't have the experience, and so you get these little bloopers in here. And you sneeze,
bloopers.
And so you got bloopers. So now this is where the kneaded eraser comes in really handy. You make a tip on it, and you just touch that because you're making the sticky stuff on the eraser pull up the graphite. Okay? Isn't this fun? All right, so
and
you're
you
pulling.
kind of just poke at it.
Yeah, you just poke at it.
Just
And then you
dab.
get it almost there, and then you reform the tip because the tip gets coated with black, and then a shadow comes over the thing, and the kids can't see. And,
What shadow?
And then you finish up with that new part of the eraser, and you're all set. If you make it, if you're an amateur and you don't know how much pressure to put on, you'll bang it like this, and you'll get a big white spot. And that's okay because you can go back over it with the 2B right in there.
Yeah.
Fix it up.
Fix it right up.
Do it with a little 6B on top, maybe.
Yeah, little 6B.
And if you get too dark, you can go back and tap it with the...
Now, you don't want it too dark.
You can't get it too dark or Mr. Jones will have a heart attack. And then you'll get a new teacher. Oh, well, maybe some of you will want that.
It might be me.
Yeah. Oh, God, it would be my wife. You don't want that. Okay, so I'm loose up here. And this whole process is doing what I've just done until you get right up to about here. So you go back and forth with the 6B and the 2B. You really don't use the 6B above right about here, which is about a third of the way up, because you're going here, you're going to end right about here with this value right here. This really light value is going to end right about here, and you're going to have all this white space up here. So, and you keep stretching this just little by little by going up a little and then back a little, and then up a little and then back and pulling this up.
Like a rubber band.
Like a rubber band. And so I'm not going to do the whole strip for you here because I'm going to let you have lots of fun on your own. And if you need help, I'm actually here in person because I get big bucks for doing this. End of video. Thank you.